Welcome to this edition of The Forum. I'm your host, Sheila Evans. We have a great show in store for you today with an outstanding lineup of guests. We get our show started today by talking with Dennis Kubasco, Associate Professor at UNCW and Director of C-STEM. He will give us all the details on this year's Regional Science Olympiad, which will take place on March 5th. Then we welcome Kenny House, Clinical Director of Coastal Horizons. He tells us all about the services they offer to people in our area. And finally, we're joined by Tim McCoy to talk about Best Foot Forward 2016. He will share a little bit about what's happening with the show this year. We've got a great edition of The Forum for you today, and we'll get started right after this short break.
Who was president? The year 1881. He declared war on the leading faction of his own party. He began prosecution of frauds in the U.S. Postal Service. He was shot by a disappointed office seeker. If you guessed James A. Garfield, you're right. He was the 20th President of the United States. This presidential pop quiz has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network, Time Warner Cable Channel 5.
What if a disaster strikes without warning? What if life as you know it has completely turned on its head? What if everything familiar becomes anything but? Before a disaster turns your family's world upside down, it's up to you to be ready. Get a kit, make a plan, be informed today. Learn how at ready.gov.
My next guest is Dr. Dennis Kubasco, Associate Professor and Director of C-STEM, but here today to talk about the UNC Wilmington Regional Science Olympiad. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Well, thank you. Part of my role at UNC Wilmington is to direct our Regional Science Olympiad for Wilmington. It pulls from a 5-county area, Bladen County, Brunswick County, Columbus County, New Hanover, and Pender counties.
Gotcha.
So there's our 5 counties that are representative. Our event specifically focuses on a competition, the largest STEM-infused competition in the state. Our focus is middle school and high school students.
Okay. How many students do you think you'll have participate?
Every year we get bigger and bigger and bigger. So we will be upwards of around, if not over 1,000 students this year. So it's pretty exciting when you get 1,000 of our best and brightest kids. Super excited about STEM, which is, by the way, is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And competing in events that help support their growth and development academically in an environment that's competitive, but yet still supportive and friendly. So,
right.
They compete for scholarships, they compete for trophies, and they compete for, we'll give out probably over 500 medals to kids.
So tell us when and where.
It's Saturday, March 5th. It'll be on UNCW's campus. And specifically, this will be the 2nd year we're in Trask Coliseum. So we have grown so large that we've outgrown the Hanover Gym that we used to use, and now we're in Trask Coliseum. That's where all of the fun, viewable events will be, including air trajectory, Mission Possible, bridge building, bridge breaking, flying machines. That'll all be in Trask Coliseum. But we do utilize the majority of campus for our academic events as well. Deloach Hall, Dobo Hall, Watson College of Education.
Right. So what time would we want to show up to Trask Coliseum if we want to see some of these things?
I think the best times would be between, if you're a morning person, between 9 and 11, or if you're an afternoon person, between 1:30 and 3 or 1 and 3. That's when you'll have an opportunity to see the kids really competing. The award ceremony is 4 to 6. And that's an opportunity for you to see we'll probably get about 2,500 people in the Coliseum. screaming and yelling and cheering for an academic event. It's what makes my job so incredibly exciting, and it's also a viewable event. For instance, the New Hanover County channel is going to be there, and they're going to be, televising the majority of the event for the duration of that Saturday.
Fun, so they can watch and then come for the award ceremony.
Exactly.
Very
exactly.
good. What schools are taking part?
Again, those 5 county areas, specifically in New Hanover County, will have almost all of our public, parochial, and private schools taking part in some capacity, whether it's Myrtle Grove Middle, whether it's Ashley High School, whether it's Wilmington Early College, whether it's St. Mark's or St. Mary's. So a variety of different school-based groups. We even have some homeschool teams represented as well.
How much time do you think is put into this before the day of the event?
I think
if you had to guess.
I think that a good event is a well-planned event. So I think that my team in the CSTEM offices of UNCW probably puts in a good month of planning. I can't say that every hour of every day is spent planning Science Olympiad, but we do spend a majority of our time. We have over 100 to 150 volunteers, from engineers from General Electric to Department of Environmental and Natural Resources personnel, to College of Arts and Sciences faculty, our staff, our students, whether they're graduate or undergraduate. So a variety of people need to be in place with their specific content area knowledge in order to lead an effective event for the kids. Because the kids come in, they're smarter and smarter, I'm telling you, every single year, and they challenge our event leaders because they really are, like I said, the best and brightest of what we offer here in southeastern North Carolina.
Tell us what some of the more popular events are.
Everybody loves our rocket launching events. So Bottle Rocket, which will be on Hoggard's front lawn, right out in front of Hoggard's building, right behind the big Seahawk. You'll be able to watch that. They're very popular. Our forensics-based events for high school, or it's called Science Crime Busters in middle school, are very, very popular. All of our engineering events in Trask Coliseum are incredibly popular. There's even Dynamic Planet this year, which is more of an academic event, but it's really based on marine and ocean qualities and characteristics, which for us on the coast is a natural. So
nice. Why is it important for students to participate?
I just think that if I can take my experience as an old high school basketball and baseball coach and take that energy that goes into athletics and try to capture that energy and then put it into academics, I just think that builds a confidence in our kids that they can not only compete in a STEM-infused event, but also have some success. And if they feel that success, if they feel that this is something that they can do in an environment where they have actual interactions with content area experts, I just think that if they can visualize themselves doing this, then I think when they do get to college or community college or even in the workplace, choosing a STEM-infused career is really a possibility for them. That's what I want them to be able to see. I want them to be able to know that they can do the content, demonstrate that they can do the content in a competitive environment, and then think of themselves as, wow, I can really do this for a living, and help us close that STEM career gap that is so prevalent right now.
So, Saturday, March 5th.
Saturday, March 5th.
If we want to watch and we're a morning person, Trask Coliseum about 9:30.
Perfect.
Okay, great. Thank you. We'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
When I was 6, my days were spent playing basketball. When I was 6, my dream was to make it to the NBA. When I was 6, my mom had a stroke.
I'm Paul George, and I want you to spot a stroke fast.
F, face drooping. A, arm weakness. S, speech difficulty. T, time to call 911.
Protect the ones you love.
Spot a stroke fast.
This is why you get by on 4 hours sleep. Why you took a second job. This is why you taught yourself how to fix the plumbing and spend hours juggling the bills. This is why you'll do whatever it takes to keep your home. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. Now more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE to talk one-on-one with a housing expert today.
I am joined by Kenny House, Clinical Director of Coastal Horizons, and he's here today to talk to us about some of the services that they offer. Kenny, I'm going to toss it to you. Give us an idea of what you do, what you offer.
Right, thank you. Coastal Horizons has a vision that is to promote choices for healthier lives and safer communities. So all of our services kind of focus around those themes. Health can involve prevention programs that work to prevent substance abuse and some of the problems, both in individuals and in communities, all the way to responding and preventing sexual assault through the Rape Crisis Center, to a shelter for youth, open house youth residential shelter, to a wide array of services that help people who have already experienced some problems but need some professional help. And that can range all the way from addiction treatment to mental health treatment, to primary care now at Coastal Horizons. So we've got lots of different things going on to try to meet the various needs of people, all the way from young children all the way up to adults.
Well, I know that is one busy complex. I had to come there one day and the parking lot was full.
Yep.
What a wonderful thing. Tell us about some of the things that the public might not be aware of.
Right, like a lot of people have known about us over the years in terms of treating substance use disorders.
Right.
So they think, you know, kind of the general, that's the drug program in town. But Coastal Horizons provides mental health treatment for people who suffer from anxiety disorders or depression disorders. So mental health treatment is probably something that people aren't as familiar about us with Coastal Horizons, but that's very much a part of what we do. And then now we're doing general health care in terms of primary care, so that people who might also suffer from a mental health disorder or an addiction disorder can also get their general health needs met. And we found that some people are coming to us now who are just coming for primary care.
Really?
And it doesn't have to be connected to the behavioral, what we call the behavioral health side on the mental health or addiction treatment side.
Okay. What are some important messages you'd like to get out to individuals or families?
Well, especially on the prevention side, we're learning a lot of things about what makes for healthier communities. And so it's not just about helping individuals, it's also about helping communities, parents know what to do. You know, some of those great prevention messages are things like talk it up, lock it up, where we talk about people being aware of where their alcohol is and where their prescription drugs are.
That's really taking on a life of its own, isn't it?
It has with the prescription drug problem, which people hear. I know they've seen some things about the heroin problem. Well, the heroin problem and the prescription drug problem are very much connected. And oftentimes, some of these things start with a prescription. And that prescription might wind up in a medicine cabinet, not monitored, not controlled, and become a part of something that becomes much greater than what was anticipated at the start. And so the messages about parents taking charge of their medications, of the alcohol, making sure, you know, we've learned that children who can delay the onset of their first use of substances have a greater resiliency towards addiction and other related problems later on in life.
Interesting.
So if you can delay your young person from experimenting, instead of at 11 or 12 years old, from experimenting till 15, 16, 17, or even 18, 19, you actually are beating the odds of what's more likely to be a problem later in life. So that's an important message. You know, there's there are now medication drop-off boxes at locations in the community that people should pay attention to those kinds of things. You have unused medications, what should I do with them? Then there's these fascinating pieces of research that we're learning now that families that have at least one meal together have those young people who have at least one meal together per week are going to have a lower rate of substance use or mental health problems later in life. And if you add to that and have 2 or 3 meals during the week, family meals where there's conversation, young people hear the opinions of adults and adults hear the opinions of the young, that actually builds resiliency against later problems with drugs and alcohol. I mean, so it's not always that complicated. It's just sometimes in our busy world difficult to do. And you know, one of those things that Coastal Horizons people aren't aware of how many services we have for children. We have services available for young children all the way up through youth and adolescence, all the way to adulthood. So we want people to kind of be aware of a wide array of what's available to them. Here in New Hanover County, you mentioned that parking lot that's full.
Yes.
At 615 Shipyard Boulevard in Wilmington. We also now have fully operating offices with that same array of services in Brunswick County, in Charlotte, and in Pender County, in Burgos. So we're really, we're trying to meet the needs of a variety of people and families.
Tell us some of the services that you do have for students. I am aware of the drug prevention and, you know, talking to John Dale and then going through the class. What else might you offer for young people? Right.
We have actual therapy models that work with both individuals and their families. Everything from trauma-focused cognitive behavioral therapy programs that work with children and their families working through difficulties. We do that in office, we do that in home.
Oh, okay.
So we have school-based therapy that's providing mental health therapy for children in schools in elementary and middle schools. We have, and some high schools. We have parent-child interaction therapy, which actually works with very young children and their families, that helps them work better together between parent and child, where there's some disruption there in the home from ages 2.5 to 6 years old. So I mean, at every stage there are these different things available, whether those services are available in the office or at home or in the school, depending on where it needs to be most effective.
Very good. Well, Kenny, thanks for giving us an update. I learned a lot today.
Great, great. We'd love to have people contact us if they'd like to. Our Wilmington main office number is 343-0145.
And folks can kind of self-refer?
Yes, they can.
Okay. Very good. All right. Thank you so much. We'll be back in a few minutes, right after these messages.
Mom, can I have $1? Yeah, it's right. I think my purse is upstairs on the bed. It's not here. Check the dining room. No. What about your sister's room? It's not there either. The upstairs closet? The downstairs closet? There are no more closets.
Moms everywhere are finding ways to keep kids active and healthy. Get ideas, get involved, get going at letsmove.gov.
Listen up, Energy Hogs. We got a real porker of a house here. Get in there and waste some energy.
There's no insulation, boss. It's hog heaven.
Leaky windows, too. This is gonna be a breeze. Perfect. Go wild and waste some wattage.
Time to tan. Oh, there's hot water for just one pair of pants. My kind of place.
Wow, this thing's so old it's gonna take me hours to get dry.
Keep wasting. They'll never know what hit them till they get the energy bill.
What the? Boss, they're home! And they've got energy-efficient bulbs! Ah!
You've got the power to get rid of Energy Hogs. You can help your parents add insulation, put in Energy Star appliances, and lots of other things to make your home hog-free. Find out how at energyhog.org and play fun games, too.
Oh, retreat! Retreat!
Go to energyhog.org and get the Energy Hogs out of your home.
Hey, wait for me!
My next guest is Tim McCoy. He is the Arts Education Supervisor for New Hanover County Schools, and he's here today to talk about Best Foot Forward. Tim, Best Foot Forward, 2016, 27th year.
27 years, Brogdon Hall. We literally take the gym, we turn it into a concert venue. Usually have anywhere between 2,500 and 2,800 people show up. Lots of dignitaries, our Board of Education, superintendent, community members, and we have seen a lot of growth in the program over the years.
Gotcha. What's the date this year?
March 11th, it's Friday night. Music begins at 7 with the Laney Jazz Band this year. Laney Jazz Band will start us off. The New Hanover Steel Drum Band will be outside, so if you didn't buy your tickets, you can be entertained while you come into the
Oh, that's
gate.
interesting.
Steel Drum has done that the last 3 years
Yeah.
since New Hanover got a Steel Drum Band. So starting at 6:30, you can hear music outside, 7 o'clock music inside, and the show itself will start at 7:30.
Okay. How do people get tickets?
You can buy tickets online, or they'll be available at the various schools.
Okay.
Depending, and online is the easiest way. Just go to the New Hanover County website, nhcs.net, look up Best Foot Forward, and buy your tickets online. I do have to say that if you are coming, even the youngest child to the oldest adult, you have to have a ticket. Even a baby that's going to sit on your lap has to have a ticket, and that's per fire code.
Gotcha.
So
Makes sense.
we're not trying to get money off you. We're trying to follow procedure and policy.
So is there a theme this year?
No theme.
Okay.
We've got some great eclectic acts. I brought my list for you.
Let's hear them.
We're going to start out actually off the board with Laney High School's percussion group and our color guard group doing a tune called Radioactive, which is really cool. We've got Howe Pre-K, Wrightsboro Elementary, and New Hanover High School, all 4 high schools. Our middle schools are Williston, Myrtle Grove, and Holly Shelter this year.
Okay.
We have salutes to Michael Jackson, we have disco, we have bucket brigades, we have ladders. We got people climbing up and down ladders playing songs.
Okay.
So you're going to see a lot of good stuff. Queen, tribute to Martin Luther King and Benny King, and so you're going to see a lot of great things.
Okay. And all the high schools are involved?
All the high schools are involved, and actually this year we had 3 high schools audition in groups. So they'll be doubled up. So we have 20 groups, a good 2 hours of entertainment for $10. And you're going to see our Best Foot Forward. You're going to see some phenomenal people. Great teachers throughout our county, and they've really stepped up this year, even more than they have in the past.
Okay, so we said there wasn't a theme this year. Is there anything else that's different, maybe from years past?
Well, we've seen a variety of groups. We're seeing, again, the percussion groups coming on, the Laney Percussion Ensemble Color Guard doing their work. We're seeing some more dance-oriented things as well. We did lower the number of participants. We tried to top it between 40 and 50 for safety reasons as well. But you're seeing some bigger, brighter costumes. You're seeing the lighting company is doing a little bigger job with the lighting on the stage. So you're going to see a lot of those kind of things.
And a lot of hours go into this, right?
Multiple hours. Some of these groups have started performing or practicing in September. They know their rotation, they know it's their year to go, and the elementary schools especially, because of their limited time,
true.
They've really started working in September to perfect their groups. They're all in the recording studios, trying to record different things, because in a venue that large, some of it has to be pre-recorded. It's huge. So we got to make sure that everybody can hear their child and see their child.
So have you had a chance to see all these acts?
We went through last week and saw every act. You're going to see some whole group. Ashley High School's whole arts team has put together their act. So the orchestra, the band, the choir, and the drama have put their act together.
Oh, that's cool.
You're going to see Hoggard has a specialty group this year that won their talent show, and 3 very talented young individuals are actually going to be playing live. So that's a new one for us as well. So I think you're going to see some bucket things going on, some boom whackers, you name it. The teachers have stepped out and said, we're going to be a little different this year. I put the challenge out in August and said, take your act up another level. And they've really stepped forward.
Well, it must be nice, with the rotation, that they do know when they rotate in and that they have the whole year.
Yeah, and the high schools have, we kind of talked about, we didn't want it just to be a show choir event. We wanted them to collaborate as a group and say, what can you do as the whole arts department to make this a bigger venue, get more kids in, showcase what your whole school is doing, not just what the choir programs are doing, because it's always been on the choir programs to do this, and now they've all just kind of melded together and made it even bigger. You're really going to like the Ashley group. They kind of did very well last year with just the orchestra, and this year they've put a whole thing together.
Would you say it's something like a musical play or something?
Just going to leave that.
Oh, okay.
You're just going to have to buy a ticket and come see it. It's different, and it's really good, and it showcases all of them.
I like that idea of all the groups collaborating.
Yeah, the Laney groups, actually, Laney has 3 groups in it. They have their drum color guard, they have their dance group, and then they have their choir group with Miss Muskie as well, and they've got some really neat things going on, and they've all just kind of jumped up and said, let's do this.
Let's take it to the next level.
Let's go up. Yes.
Very good. Remind us the date.
March 11th.
Okay.
Pre-music, steel band at 6:30, jazz band 7, 7:30 is the show.
2 easy ways to get tickets online and at your schools.
At your school.
Okay,
yes,
great.
ma'am.
Well, thank you, Tim, for coming in
Thank
and
you.
giving us an update on Best Foot Forward, and we'll be back in a few minutes right after these messages.
Let's see what's for lunch today. What are you having?
Tacos, great. We had meatloaf, mashed potatoes, and peas.
What's this? Looks good.
We had beef stew, noodles, pudding, and whole milk.
You know, today's school lunches are more nutritious and have better variety.
They're totally awesome.
It is definitely not your parents' school lunch anymore.
A message from the American School Food Service Association.
Now it's time for This Week in Bad Stats.
Bad stats?
Horrible stats. Here goes. 132.
That's how many batters struck out 4 times in one game last season.
Wow, very good. Here's a tough one, though. 3 and 4.
No idea.
That's how many kids witness bullying. 3 out of 4.
That's not a good stat.
No, it's not, but it can change. Kids want to help, but they don't know how. Visit stopbullying.gov and give them the tools they need to help prevent bullying.
There are plenty of safe ways kids can help at stopbullying.gov.
What state am I?
I'm the largest state east of the Mississippi River. My nickname is the Peach State. The 1996 Summer Olympics were held here. Do you know who I am? If you guessed Georgia, you're right. I received statehood in 1788.
This United States factoid has been brought to you by New Hanover County Schools on the Learning Network of the Cape Fear.
We hope you've enjoyed our program today. Regional Science Olympiad will be held at Trask Coliseum on UNCW campus on Saturday, March 5th. Events begin at 9:30 a.m. and you can tune in for the live broadcast starting at 12 noon and ending after the award ceremony right here on TLN. To learn more about the services offered by Coastal Horizons, you can visit their website at coastalhorizons.org or call 202-3860. And finally, Best Foot Forward 2016 will be held on Friday, March 11th in Brogdon Hall on the New Hanover High School campus. Tickets can be purchased at participating schools or online at nhcs.net. Now, if you ever have any questions about the topics discussed here on our show today, please call the School System's Public Relations Office at 254-4180. I'm Sheila Evans, and thanks for joining me today.